Hi, I'm Francesca James, the founder of the Great British Entrepreneur Awards and Community. The coronavirus pandemic has caused chaos for many UK businesses, yet the crisis does seem to have brought out the raw entrepreneur in some business owners and leaders. In this series, we're shining a spotlight on and speaking to the entrepreneurs behind businesses who have adopted a plan B or changed their business by pivoting to models to either still serve their customers or help the country in an entirely different way. Can you tell me a little bit about what your business looked like pre-pandemic?
Wow. Big question. I will answer briefly. Circagene, the company I created 1.5 years ago in London, is providing world-class genetic testing services for medical consumers that value their data privacy. So basically, if you have a health risk in the family, you probably know, aunts that develop this cancer, or your grandpa or your grandma, and you want to be sure that you are doing the right thing for yourself and your family. Well, what we provide is a very deep analysis of your DNA. So we go from your saliva up to the analysis of your DNA, so we can provide you all the health risk that you are predisposed to. Why? Because we can provide you the right recommendation so you avoid the disease you are predisposed to, and you take the right action. We believe in prevention, and we believe that prevention begins with DNA.
And so you're based in London. How long's the business been going?
So I created Circagene in July 2018, and pre-pandemic we were on a very fast growth pace. After the pandemic, we had to adjust a little bit the business because people were having different interests, and we did it successfully.
And so what changes have you made during the pandemic? I know we talked earlier about there's, I guess, the simple changes, like you were looking at taking on office space and that's been put on hold. But I guess what fundamental business changes have you had to make?
Yeah, so basically we have, you can see our activity with the wet lab, where we do the DNA extraction, we do the sequencing, and this is with our partners, and we are really a digital health company. So what we had to do, because of big delay in the lab that were completely dedicated to COVID testing, what we did is to implement some digital testing panel. So if you have your DNA, you have your data, we take your data and we analyze it in a way that is purely digital to provide you the best of the genetic research quite quickly. So that was the first adaptation. The second we did was, well, people ask us, what about my DNA? What about COVID? Am I susceptible more than my neighbor to an infection by coronavirus? Do you know anything about that? Can you check what the labs are doing, and could I use their research on my own DNA? And that's basically what we did. We just mined all the literature in genetic research, and we found the best way to analyze your DNA and to provide this to people who already got their raw DNA data but don't know how to analyze it. We provide this service at cost and for free for all NHS staff.
Oh, wow. So you've been busy over the last few months then?
Yeah, because to create a whole new process, it's a lot of work, because we need to cloudify, we need to build all the process from genetic research, integrate all these, industrialize the tool, have the right reporting, and typically we do, for instance, automatically you receive your report, which is kind of, it's a rich report in which you have all the results explained. Here, for instance, you can see you don't want to see red stuff. Here, I'm mostly green, so that's good news. But to create this kind of stuff is kind of complex to do. So we are really proud to succeed to do this in a record time. So it was pretty much working day and night at the beginning.
And so, are there changes that you've implemented that will be a continual thread and part of your business when we enter the new normal?
Yeah, so I think this pandemic is also a great opportunity for business to show resilience and to show how adaptable they are. And we just realize that the business which is digital panel is actually something which is going to boom. So we are putting a lot of focus on this. So this coronavirus panel is only the first of a long range of different digital panel we want to offer. So we pivoted a bit the business to make sure that we can go into this opportunity.
And well, I guess the question I'm asking all entrepreneurs now, and you mentioned and referred to that sort of pandemic has inspired entrepreneurial spirit and resilience. Are you optimistic about the future?
Oh yeah, definitively. Why? Because people suddenly realize that health is wealth, and they need to, you insure your car, you have car insurance, you insure your pets, but what are you doing about your health? Are you conscious that you can use the strength of your own DNA to make sure that you live longer, healthier, and happier? And you have to do that as a human being, as a parent, as a father, as a mother. You really need to do that, and you need to do it cost effectively. And that's exactly what we want to do in the future. And it makes sense for us. And we realize that, well, people are coming and people are really interested in managing their health the best they can.
I think it's going to be a really interesting time for businesses in that health space and education. And, there's going to be some very interesting and incredible businesses come out of this when we look back in a few years' time.
I think so, especially because I think this pandemic accelerated the pace of transformation. And we suddenly realize that we are part of a bigger ecosystem where we need to collaborate, so each startup got the responsibility to provide the best possible service locally, but also to connect with other business to provide a kind of a solution that I would see as a global shield for the people. And this is really important now, but also for the future.
And how can people find out more about you and your business?
Oh, yeah, they can go directly to circagene.com, where they will have a look on what we are doing regarding the genetic testing. And they can also go to coronagene.com, where we provide particular information about this corona panel.
Brilliant. It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.